Hey, Tim here. I just want to preface this episode by saying we know the audio sucks in this episode. I went ahead and bought 4 Rode pod mics for all of us and a recorder and everything, and we're going to have a lot better audio for the next podcast, hopefully, if it comes before we record on Sunday after the Jeddah race in Saudi Arabia. We forgot to touch on that in this episode, and we forgot to go over the Instagram questions in this episode. So I will go back to that next episode after Jeddah, and we'll listen to it then. But otherwise, enjoy the podcast. Again, I'm sorry for the audio. I bought new ones, new microphones. So yeah, enjoy. Now, after listening to the podcast while editing this, I've also realized the reason why the audio is so shit, half of it, is because for some reason the microphones we have for Z and Alex weren't working. So it was just recording off of Z's phone. So that would be why. But again, new microphones are coming, so just bear with us for this episode, please. Enjoy, and
Podcast episode 2.
Welcome to the Beyond the Limiter podcast.
I am Z from last week. Same guy.
Same guy.
Same thing.
I'm Matt from last week. Well, same dude. Yeah.
How's the car?
Oh, beautiful. Loving it.
Because you didn't have it in the last one we recorded.
No, I didn't. So I picked it up on this past Wednesday. And been, I guess 2 Wednesdays. Or,
A week ago.
A week ago now.
A week ago.
Time flies when you're going slow.
Yeah.
Finally figuring out the clutch.
Yeah, she's a high bite.
Very high bite. I'm not used to that. The Impreza was just whatever you want.
The Impreza was good for lazy shifting.
Yes, it was, and that I was.
I got a roller review today. The car looks mint, my guy.
I saw the camera out, and I was like, now it's time to have fun.
We need content. Matt's got an Instagram, noshboy.frs. Give him a follow. Watch his build.
That's NOSHBOI.FRS.
Boy!
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm Tim. Still here, unfortunately. We're
Now your car didn't break on you? You still drive the same thing?
Yeah, it's been pretty reliable for the most part.
That is called a reliable week for the V-dub owners.
Yeah, it's been pretty good this week.
And lastly,
I'm Alex, and you heard me on the last podcast like 10 days ago. Still here, still alive,
still driving the same piece of crap.
still driving the same. Actually, it's gotten louder.
It's gotten louder?
It's gotten louder. Yes.
The beater or the one stored pretty in the garage?
Well, the one stored pretty in the garage doesn't do anything, so it's still pretty.
True.
But the beater is the one that's getting louder, day by day.
Yeah.
Not in a good way.
No, it's a great way. Just people know you're there. Like they don't even have to check the blind spots. They just know that you're there. That's the whole purpose of it. It's a safety feature.
I was pulling out of the shop today, and Matt sees my exhaust fuming where exhaust fumes shouldn't be fuming. You know what I mean?
Straight from the engine. It was like he had a downpipe or whatever, headers, and nothing else. And it was just the biggest cloud of white smoke.
Listen, I've been busy. There's been an exhaust leak, and I know the welder, me, hasn't gotten time to fix it. So it's kind of bad, you know? I feel like I go and I have to advertise myself as like hey, I'm going to start, getting into the fabrication side of the automotive industry. But here's my piece of junk that has a hole in it.
and not to mention, when I was driving behind you, there was a reason that the exhaust fumes couldn't go out the normal way, and that was because his exhaust pipe was plugged with snow after rear-ending the bank behind him. So for a solid 10-15 minutes, I was like, he might die of carbon monoxide, but I'm ready to hop in your car and resuscitate you.
If it doesn't go off the road first.
No, well, I know it's going off the road.
And I last time we took a drive, I kept telling him, I'm like, okay, like go into the corners, like hold the speed. Don't just accelerate like after the apex. Go into the corner hot so you can exit extra hot. And he was like, yeah, I'm feeling out the car. So being in front driving home, it was my duty to speed so he could keep up. And I'm watching him control the car behind me. I'm like, that's my boy.
Yeah, definitely getting used to it. The all-wheel drive was always a beauty for me. So like finally being in a rear wheel, it's like, oh, okay, you can have a little more. Like I think I'm getting to the point where I'm like, maybe traction control off, but
In a
let's
way,
save
it's a
that
little bit
for-
more freedom, a little more play.
Exactly.
All-wheel drive is great, but it's definitely hard to have some fun when you're on
Well,
a driveway.
because you know you're planted 24/7. Like
It's a yeah.
So, boys, how's the shop going?
It's shop.
Have we talked about that?
I don't think we've talked about the
I
shop.
don't think we've talked about the shop.
Do you want to get into the talk of the
We-
shop?
I think a brief talk maybe.
Brief
We
talk.
won't get fully into it, but
So
it's a long story.
why don't you start it off?
Okay, we shall start this off. Should we start right from the beginning of how we met this beautiful specimen of a human being?
Brief
Yeah,
overview.
quick
yeah,
sum.
brief
so,
overview.
So pretty much, Tim and I, we both have our golfs, and we decided we were going to partner with GTI. Amazing. You'll never find that again. But anyway, we hopped on it, partnered out. We saw this exhaust. We sell it to this guy. His name is PK. And what was supposed to be a quick transaction turned into like a 4-hour fucking conversation.
Bro,
about
in
it.
my driveway when I'm not even home.
Yeah, it was crazy. We met at like 11 o'clock in the morning and we didn't stop talking until like 3. And we're like, hey, we're both late. For
My
something.
mom goes outside and she's like, who the hell? what is going on
Yeah.
here?
So we were supposed to be there like at certain spots for 2 hours before that. We realized we're both running late, so we wrap it up. And we get each other's contact information. And it started off as 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, and then I went to his shop to fix Schmitty's exhaust.
Well, we all.
Yeah, we all went. And then I think after that it was every day.
Yeah. After that, it was literally every day. Like there was maybe a 1-week period where Christmas fell, where we just weren't there because obviously we were with our families. But then. like,
And we
after-
kind of got stuck and traumatized from
That's
that
a totally
area.
different story. For that.
Oh boy.
So you can touch on that actually. After
No. That's another episode. That's a whole story.
That was a fun time.
That's
After
crazy.
the fact.
We're gonna need more boys in the room to call you out on your shit.
No, we don't. But anyways, basically they met and hit it off, and they started working together and helping each other out.
Yeah, so we do wrap, PPF, tint, and exhaust work, and then most of the wrapping we do, we try and do custom print, like livery style designs, because it gives us, at least PK gives him a creative freedom pretty much to do what he wants to do. And
Make the car a little more unique. I feel like
exactly.
as the car industry gets bigger, wrapping has become a very big part of people's emotion and expression on their vehicle. But naturally, like colors, like you're gonna get some repeats, but liveries are really a unique design, and you really get whatever you want. Something new we're trying to push, I guess. You don't really see them too often, but it's something that we're trying to get into.
Yeah, totally. And like we just want to add uniqueness to everyone. Like everyone wants something that wows everybody about their car, and we just want to provide that to people pretty much.
Yeah, so once we met PK, we worked at a different location.
In the middle
Shop.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Undisclosed location. And I guess things went very well. So now we're opening up our a bigger location somewhere else. We'll get into maybe later on, and the shop is expanding with a detail bay, and I'll be running a lot of like fab stuff with Alex out of half of the shop. So exhaust, any custom parts you need. That's something we want to get into.
I didn't even tell him that's or my part, I guess.
Yeah, Alex is into carbon overlay. So,
And not just that, but what we want to do in the future.
oh yeah, we'll let them wait for that one.
Well, yeah, we'll let them wait, but for
But yeah, so I think that's our shop talk. That's what we're kind of at in life, I guess. That's our little update. We'll give you more as things start to unfold, because we're in like we're doing the demo, and we're obviously building the inside of the shop to how we want.
Do you want to talk about the demo and what you guys are doing right now, and
Well, so
or
we
you want
have-
to keep that a surprise, or what are you trying to?
let's keep it as a surprise.
Okay.
And once it's done, we'll create a video, and we'll drop like a whole video of what the shop looks.
Oh
like.
yeah, because you've been taking take more videos.
Yeah, I can. Little progress videos.
Take more progress videos.
Sounds good. I can do that.
Horizontal. Yeah, make a actual video.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. I have ideas now. All right, that's okay.
Man, I'm excited though. I think I'm looking forward to it. I'm almost itching because we're at that part where you've done the demo, so now you're starting to rebuild after all the cleaning. And not that it happens slow, but things tend to look a little bit more messy before they start to look really good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the phase we're in. So things get done slowly, but it is a lot of work, and I'm very excited to see the outcome.
Me too. I'm so excited to see that place.
I'm thrilled.
Just
even when we're getting it painted, like I think the vision will start to come to life a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
I've already seen so many videos of that place, and then I saw it today, and it looks great. Like, it looks like a good space.
Completely
great
different
size.
from the videos though, because they've been making so much progress.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
we've been flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's totally changed about that place from when we first walked in. We
Yeah.
used to make dumplings there. Like literally, like this place was like caked in dirt, grease, whatever it was, and it was just like 10, 15 rooms. Like it was just rooms on rooms,
Yeah, it's
and it was like it was so jammed, so busy.
'Cause
And
when we
Z
first-
just went sledgehammer. Yeah, okay, we're gonna take all of these down except for one.
yeah. I took down I just went to town. I was like, we need to open this space up immediately, and that's the first thing I did. And I put on some steel toes and I kicked some drywall down. It was great. You know how calm I was?
Yo, anger management.
Oh, dude, it was unreal. So great for the soul, especially because now I drove the S4 being manual. I had to give it back and hop in the auto. I had a little bit of rage in me. You know what I mean?
Understandable.
Yeah. So, wow, it was terrific. It's funny, I told PK, I was like, walking into it, like, with walls set up and rooms made, it's really hard to gauge the square footage of the place and what you'll be working with once everything's done. And I was like, it was really small. We opened it up and made it massive because there was no walls around. And now as we form rooms, it's funny because there are very few rooms. It's starting to make the place feel even bigger in a way. And so it is pretty cool. It's a fun process.
Yo, I was half tempted to come by today after work, but then I was like, I'm gonna go home instead. Play
All
video
the boys
games.
showed up today, actually. It was pretty nice.
Ah,
Yeah.
All
Actually,
right.
yeah, there was quite a few people there. It was good.
Yeah,
Do we want to talk about F1 now?
it's F1 time.
Bahrain.
Bahrain Grand Prix is finished.
What a
And
race.
What a result.
What a race.
Anything that you guys would say was out of the blue, not really in your predictions categories?
Verstappen first.
It's funny because we had Ferrari DNFing in the first race this year, but apparently there's a Bahrain curse going on, so
Yeah.
we'll see how
That's what I'm praying for right now.
But the Bahrain curse is that the P2 driver gets the World Drivers' Championship. So that means Perez is on par to be the World Drivers' Championship.
I think that okay. If anything, it defaults Perez, which means Alonso. And I think that would be a more realistic than Perez
Yo.
if Max Verstappen doesn't win it.
Alonso, third World Drivers' Championship.
Okay, so I have a hot take that pairs well with this. I read an article, don't know if it's true or false, but they were saying that Mercedes has 2 race weekends to essentially get their shit together. Otherwise, all the resources that Mercedes will be pushing out will be for Alonso. Because they make the motors, they make the gearbox, and make the rear suspension of the Aston Martin. So they're going to have to transition from making their own car a priority and to make sure that all the parts they send over to Aston are in the best condition possible
True.
for Alonso to
I mean,
win
that-
the championship.
That would make sense.
And it's a hot take, but it would be a crazy hot take.
Yeah, no, I'm on board. I like that. Yo, Alonso winning would be so sick. He was so good, and it's crazy.
Like he passed a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one was sort of sitting on the side of the road.
Well, you passed both Ferraris.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He
Sorry, he passed both
Ferraris.
I meant one while racing.
I don't know. Carlos didn't look too hot in Bahrain.
No, well,
Well,
he was fourth,
apparently the
wasn't
car was wrong or something because Leclerc obviously didn't survive the race. So I
Yeah.
wonder if that implies Carlos didn't have a perfectly
Healthy
perfect
car.
car.
So they were saying that last year they struggled on the reliability issues. So this year they didn't really change much to their car. They just apparently made the engine more reliable and upped the juice. And Leclerc DNFing is really, really bad on the whole reliability standpoint.
yeah.
Well, hopefully they do a Red Bull's. Sorry, hopefully they do a Red Bull situation and figure that shit out by the third race.
Yeah, I think the way that race looked, like obviously Red Bull's a little bit unstoppable, but I think Alonso could really. He's pushing the limits and he's showing that he's one of the best drivers right now. Like he's looking hot. Like I think
This goes
he
back.
does really well.
This goes back to what I said last week too.
I
about the
knew
whole-
you were gonna go here.
Yeah, it's not about the age. It's about the
Racecraft. Fun fact, actually, this was Aston Martin's 50th Grand Prix. For Alonso to be getting on the podium for their
Oh.
50th Grand Prix,
That's a special moment.
that's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's actually.
And it's also Red Bull's 93rd win.
They were comparing it because from 2009, Red Bull has had 93 wins.
Yeah, I guess.
Lewis Hamilton's
Or-
had 94 alone.
No,
Lewis
that-
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Didn't he hit 100?
Compared to
Oh,
the whole
since
team.
But
2009.
that goes back to when he was McLaren too, right? Was it from
2009. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 3 years McLaren days.
So yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so 2009 Chinese Grand Prix. From then onwards,
Damn.
Lewis Hamilton.
This was Max's 36th win.
So how many wins do you think Verstappen gets this season? What is it? 24 races? 23?
I think he at least matches last year.
Which was.
15.
I don't think he does. I think the cars are closer in terms of like I think Ferrari, Aston, and Mercedes all being good. I think combined they have a chance.
We have a
Wait,
no
wait.
cutoff rule, and I'm about to just screw that rule for a second because
Yeah.
he's winning 20 races this year, bro. If they give him a reliable ass car, he's winning 20 races. They had to lower the juice in Bahrain by a second per lap.
Bro, and listen
Just
to this.
because he was
No-
running an old MGUK.
Not only that, but they lowered the juice on top of they were telling Max, slow down, like there's no race. You're like 36 seconds ahead of everybody else already, right? Like there is no race at the moment, Max. That's literally word for word what he said. So like he's already at the top of his already juiced down power system.
But to play devil's advocate, because I just talked to this with Matt, they're losing wind tunnel time, right? So they're gonna lose wind tunnel time halfway through the season, and I think that's what will give a chance for the other cars to get closer. But you're also playing with the gap as much as it is now, which is really heavy.
Yeah, I think based on the results of last week,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's gonna really touch Max.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to see Alonso finish at the top. But I think also throughout the season, like cars do get closer in the grid. You don't just finish 30 seconds ahead and nobody catches up ever.
Yeah.
But I do still think Max takes. I would say at least 18 races, at least.
Hamilton stayed 30 seconds ahead of everybody for about 5 years. So
Yeah.
Fair
Also,
enough.
fun fact about Hamilton: he's finished Bahrain more times than anyone, moving in front of Kimi Räikkönen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a crazy stat.
That's
What
bro.
is the
I
number?
have more.
Do you
Alright,
know the
okay.
number for that?
I don't think it said the number.
All right,
I
hit me
kinda-
with your hottest one. Go.
Okay, wait. Yo. Wait a second. Wait. Okay. Who do you think had the fastest trap speed and the lowest, or the second lowest trap speed?
Lewis Hamilton is number 1 on that list. For Bahrain?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton is number 1 on that list.
Who do you think?
339.1 kilometers an hour? Or 339.
Well, it's not fair if you know it.
0.9?
This must be wrong then.
No! I could be wrong.
No, I think this might be wrong. But-
I'm gonna guess science.
I was gonna go Williams. I don't know who, but
Logan Sargent. This one says
What?
293.9 kilometers an hour, which some kind of sounds wrong.
293?
293.9.
No way,
Who's
because
that?
they must hit 300 on that street.
Yeah.
Okay, I found it.
Who?
Carlos Sainz topped the leaderboard at 326.6.
Okay.
And then followed by Checo, Leclerc, Hamilton, Gasly, Verstappen. That's top 6.
Well, I fucked that one up.
So,
Valtteri Bottas in the slowest car at 285.6 compared to Carlos Sainz 326.6.
286?
Yeah, that's 40-ish kilometers difference. Now, is that DRS? Is that ERS?
So
Combination of both.
Combination of both?
the stat that I got for some reason was
That's-
Logan with Sargent was 293.9 and Max was 19th with 284.5. So I don't know,
Pernice.
maybe without DRS.
maybe without
Well,
DRS.
he was in first the whole time, so he didn't get it.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So probably without DRS, and then, but still, that's crazy.
I think that might have been him defending against Alonso down the straight, ERS and everything.
True.
Or maybe chasing him even with everything. Be curious to see when it happened.
Now Gasly started last in 20th place, and he went up 11 positions to 9th and scored points.
Meanwhile, his teammate
His teammate.
collecting a rack of penalties. I mean, I think one of them was the mechanic's fault by touching the car a little too early.
Yeah.
But what is that, 20 seconds in penalties or something like
Yeah, and he retired.
that? That's pretty sad.
Yeah. And he's the first driver ever to score from 20th at Bahrain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Crazy, eh?
He's done well in Bahrain, though, right? Like, he has a good statistic in Bahrain. That's sort of what
Yo.
I remember.
So there's a couple drivers that from Drive to Survive I hated.
Right.
And it was Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, and I can't remember who the last one was.
I love Pierre.
Bro, I hated them. I don't know why, but now I absolutely yes, Pierre, like yes, Lance, like support Canada.
So I guessed it correctly this time.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the stat. Yeah, Hamilton 4th on the list. So, they have a car that's pretty quick in the straight line. Clearly not in the corners.
Yeah.
So, do they bring back a pod design? Because right now they're the only team running that no pod, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the numbers are showing that it's failing through the corners. Not enough aero, not enough wind that's allowing to go through.
Yeah.
Could be anything. Well, it's just pretty interesting to see that it's very quick in a straight line, just when it comes to corners, it's super slow.
Did they also not lower their car this year?
Bro, they're the lowest car on the grid
Yeah.
now.
So if you're that low, maybe they need to raise it a little bit. Because if they were doing well before with it higher.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, sorry. They're the highest I think on the grid. I thought you were talking about Red Bull. Red Bull's the lowest now. I think Mercedes is the highest on the
Are
grid.
they? Because I heard something about their rear axle tonight or something.
That was Red Bull, I believe.
Well, and they've always been the straight arrow, not the curved arrow, because they know how to go fast straight. They don't know how to go fast in corners. Red Bull knows how to go fast in corners. We saw this in the past. Same with Ferrari. But Mercedes has always been the straight line, and now they can't do that. So I think that just hurts them that much more.
Yeah, I think they've just like completely fallen off with this new generation, and so
100%.
they're just regaining it back now. I think at some point they'll have a great car, but right now it's still not there.
I think you might be right with the pod design, because if Aston Martin is using Mercedes parts, what's to say that Mercedes can't corner just as well, but still have that straight line?
So the
If they don't put it all
aerodynamic,
together.
so the aerodynamic component usually is up to the team. So for example,
Yes.
Ferrari, like, they supply Alfa Romeo and Haas, but like in terms of the aerodynamic part, it's usually up to the team's aero department to figure out what's got less drag but can still hold downforce within the corners.
Well, that's what I mean. Like if they have the same parts, their only issue right now is how they put the car together, like
Yeah.
aero-wise. So maybe, like you were saying, the pod design is the way to go.
So do you know how Aston Martin is where it is right now?
I have no idea.
So
Adrian Newey.
Yeah, so we talked about the like they have the Mercedes power unit
Well,
that we know is very fast.
The
And okay, so we talked about they have the Mercedes power unit and some other components, but their aerodynamic design is built by a living legend. His name is Adrian Newey, and he's the aerodynamic engineer at Red Bull. His second-hand man wrote down a bunch of notes, I guess, and Aston Martin hired him. And so he took that design, and if you look at the design, it's very similar to Red Bull. And that is Waffles
for
Again, round two.
making her podcast announcement.
her appearance, we pay her.
Yeah,
Pay her $50,000 to appear
yeah.
every
It's
time.
expensive, eh?
So
We also
expensive.
get some viewers just gonna be really bad for us.
It's gonna be really bad for Waffles. Don't deprive my cat of treats, okay? That's not okay. Share this with your friends.
Well,
So yeah, basically they have Red Bull's aerodynamics, and so that's why Checo in the post-race conference or interview, whatever, was like, "Well, it's nice to see 3 Red Bulls on the podium."
That was it was funny. So I was talking to PK.
Yo, Alonso was sitting there just like, "Oh fuck,
I
oh
remember
shit."
that. Even when they asked Verstappen if they could see Alonso fighting him for the championship, Alonso put like a death grip on his neck.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's good to see though, like the old mixing in with the young mixing in with the new.
Yeah.
Young, no.
No,
Not that.
no.
The old mixing in with the new. Wow, Jesus.
I ain't cutting shit out.
Uh,
All right, so Alex Albon got his first points since Spawn 2022.
that's a good stat for
I
him.
remember watching the race, and it looked like he had a good race. I think
Yeah.
he has lots of potential.
I think that
Um,
Williams is looking a little bit better than last year, or the past few years, rather.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think part of that is because naturally the field is evening itself out with the cost cap. And now you got cars that are designed to go closer than ever. So now the Williams is actually looking fast on those straights. And I know when we race F1 on the sim, it's always like, damn, that Williams is like coming up on my ass. Like,
Yeah.
It is very quick in a straight line.
yes.
Now, what else is quick is the Alfa Romeo, because Zhou Guanyu finished 16th, unfortunately, but with the fastest lap.
I heard this.
And it's the second time he's done that with, finished in 16th with the fastest lap. It was Japan 2022. And this time, he was 2.3 seconds faster than Max.
Wow.
Yeah.
that's quite a bit.
He was probably on his last lap just pushing for 16th on softs. I don't remember seeing it, but
So we've talked about Bahrain,
Yep.
touched up on some facts.
Oh, I think I still got a couple more here.
All right, hit it off, because I'm about to make some hot Jeddah predictions coming up.
Okay, wait a second. So Oscar retired on lap 14.
He didn't have a great race.
No, neither did Lando.
The McLaren doesn't look good,
Mm.
but there was the team principal of McLaren. I don't know his name, but
Zach Brown?
No, Zach Brown's the CEO.
Andrea Stella?
Something like that.
I think that's
It's like
the new guy.
Steitel or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
He said Piastri's going to be a champion after his 14-lap DNF race.
Didn't they say that, with Lando?
Lando, in my heart, is the champion.
Yeah.
He's just not in a championship-winning car.
Exactly.
Sorry, Alex, I'm offending him. McLaren, it pumps through his blood. I'm so sorry.
And then, of course, obviously, Charles DNF, engine blew up or something. So they can only use 2. They've used 1. They're bound to have a grid penalty very soon if they don't serve it already. Because I think you can serve it beforehand and they get it reset, I guess. But yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
So each team is entitled to like certain amount of components and parts as the season goes on.
Yeah.
So you can get those parts and those extra things you need without a hit. But if you need any extra part, for example, if you need a new, let's say, energy storage unit,
Yeah.
you're allocated 2 for the season. If you need a third one, you take the penalty. So a lot of teams will take a third one right away, so you can serve that penalty in the first half of the year or earlier in the year, and save the ones that you're allocated to later on in the year when you don't take an engine penalty. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. That's how it works in F122 when it's a race. But I think they are going to take it early, like you were saying. I don't know if it's going to be as early as Jeddah. It may very well be.
It might be a good call to do it on Jeddah.
Yeah, I
Lots
think
of opportunity to pass.
there is, but Jeddah's again one of those tracks where it's all straight line. Like there's there's a few aggressive corners, blind corners, but most of that, 85% of that track, you're flat out.
Yeah.
So those straight line cars, the Williams, I think we're gonna see. I don't know, the Red Bull to me, 50-50. We did a lot of testing in Bahrain. We've seen how it performs there, but to other tracks, no team really knows how their car is going to react in certain situations.
They only know based off of last year.
Exactly, and last year they tested in Spain like they usually do, and then they have a race in Bahrain, so you get all those practice sessions to now build your car for that specific track. And you still have all the data you got in Spain. But this year, they have like 5 days worth of data on one track. Of course, they're running different setups, but I think just how your car is going to perform is going to be a lot more interesting coming up, because they don't have this data. They don't have all this information yet.
Yeah.
They don't have 2 tracks worth of data. They only have 1 track's worth of data. So I think that's huge.
And relating it back to Jeddah, I was having a conversation with PK today, and I think Jeddah, being so balls to the wall track, you're blind, it's very fast. I liked it being second last because I felt like all the teams knew their car, the drivers knew their cars very well, and now you're on a track that's life risking at some point.
Yeah.
And you're balls to the wall because you know the car, you're pushing as hard as you can. I think, in fact, there'd be less risk of injury because of how deep into the season it would be. But I think that's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good point, because especially with how many new drivers do we have this year? 3?
Sargent, DeVries,
Piastri.
Yeah.
So, those 3 drivers, like, okay, now they got to race Jeddah in a car they've raced 1 race in officially.
Yeah.
And one of them only raced 14 laps.
Yeah.
Now Buddy has to go balls to the wall and go on Jeddah, which Like, that is literally probably one of the scariest tracks.
I agree.
But so much fun to drive.
Oh, my lap time in the cockpit is pretty quick.
Yeah.
My Jetta time is definitely one that I can boast about.
Yeah.
I think Tim was here when I said it. Actually.
Oh, bro. Yeah, I was. Yeah. There was another track too. There was like 2 tracks. Monaco.
And
Justin saw another one.
Justin saw Singapore, and Singapore, the first time I ran it, I was 2/10 up on my previous. My second lap, I was 3/10 up. Then my fourth lap, I was 8/10 up. And this was all just consecutive laps, just bang, bang, bang. And he's just in the background. He goes, "Are you like? Did you reset all your stats?" I'm like, "Nope." He's like, "Holy." So I can't wait till those tracks. I mean, I'll give you my Jetta time so that anyone can compete with it, win some merch. But my Singapore, my Monaco time, those are gonna be tricky ones.
Yeah.
Especially because of the tracks that they are. Like, jeez.
Yeah, those are some crazy tracks to have that high of numbers with crossplay enabled. Like, it's pretty nutty. You're getting it up right now? You're getting your Jetta time right now?
No.
Oh, you should.
I'll get it right now.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, you gotta
Oh,
use the.
he's on his way?
Yes. Alright, moment of truth. It is. Am I still top? I'm top 7%.
Oh.
128,463. And if anybody wants to jump in the seat and give her beans, you won't even come close.
And you can send it to us on our new Twitter account at BT Limiter because Beyond the Limiter was too long.
At what point do I contact Christian?
Like,
Yesterday?
yeah.
Okay. Everyone tag Christian.
Yo,
Horner
get
on
him.
their stuff.
You should just get him to get Red Bull to sponsor us, right?
Yeah.
Because like we need podcast sponsors like ASAP.
Yeah,
We need
yeah.
microphones.
Yeah, Red Bull would be nice.
Yeah, we could get Christian on the podcast. I'll give him a call actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know on speed dial, don't you?
Yeah, I have his number. Actually, me and Max are going to the club later tonight. I'll just ask him.
Sir, Tuesday.
It's funny because the weird part of that conversation is me going to a club, not Max going to a club on a Tuesday.
No, Max going to a club on a Tuesday is normal.
It's
because
totally
that's his
understandable.
days off.
Lando is the DJ.
Exactly. Okay, I guess we're closing this out now. So thanks for listening to the Beyond Limiter podcast. Like I said just shortly or earlier, I mean, what I said it earlier. Follow our Twitter, tweet us. I just made it today because I'm trying to get the word out. Podcast, so at BT Limiter. Follow us on Instagram at Beyond the Limiter.
And you'll be hearing from us after the Sunday race in Jeddah.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it and then record the podcast that day afterwards. So we'll try and get it out as soon as possible. And yeah.
This is your host, C, signing up.
All right, see ya.